This is Marty with Marty's Diesel, and we're going to go over our van fuel system information. Stuff we need to know, stuff you need to know in order to install one of our fuel systems on a van. Now, this is a regular passenger van. It has one fuel tank. The fuel tank, as you can see, the door's right there. It's in front of the rear axle. Walk a little bit closer here. Fuel tank. One fuel tank in front of the rear axle. There is no fuel tank behind the axle. None at all. So go ahead and come underneath here with me. There is a fuel tank that's on the inside of the frame rail. Doesn't leave you a lot of room to mount one of our fuel systems. With that being said, this is actually a Super Duty van, so it already has an electric pump. If you want to, you could technically mount our fuel system right here. Now understand this is a Bosch system, and it's actually backwards for an inside mount, but I'm going to show you the outside mount here in a second. But anyway, you could mount it right here if you wanted to. This is where the factory fuel pump is on a Super Duty van, okay? Like a 99 to 03 van. You could put our fuel system right here. But also, come on around here, you can put this fuel system right here, right here, right here, right here. Technically speaking, you can also find pre-existing holes in the frame rail, like right there, right there, right there, and you could actually get this thing installed without drilling any holes. Yes, I know this fuel tank is close right here, but you can still get your hand inside the frame rail and allow you to mount the fuel system here on the outside of the frame. You can also mount the fuel system low, or you can mount it high. I prefer to mount it high as you can. All you have to do is make sure you avoid the parking brake cable and you avoid the bottom of the body of the actual van itself. And then obviously you got to make sure your inlet and outlet fittings can go over top of the frame rail. Obviously your inlet would go directly to the sending unit on this van because it has a single tank, and then your outlet fitting would dump right back inside the frame rail. Now with that being said, walk on over here. This is a cab chassis van. Notice there is no fuel tank in the way here. And obviously this fuel pump is backwards. Remember, the arrows on the fuel pump always have to face towards the engine. But I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. You could mount this here. You could mount it here. You could mount it here. You could mount it here. You can even go over top of the frame rail and mount it. You could go over top of the frame rail right there and mount it. I don't care, okay? Come on the outside here. Shine that in here. You could do the same exact thing. Mount it on the outside of the frame rail anywhere that you want. There's also pre-existing holes in the frame. More than likely, one of those holes will line up with the holes on our fuel pump assembly, okay? Come on back here. Let's take a look at the body of the van. On the body of the van, there's no fuel tank. Right here, there's no fuel tank door because it has one fuel tank. There's one fuel tank and it's back here. Because it's back here, you have all that room on the frame rail in order to install our fuel system. Even on the guys that do the four-wheel drive swaps, there's still places to mount our fuel system, even with the transfer case in the way. It doesn't really matter. With that being said, whenever you're ordering a fuel system from us on a van, we have to know if you have a rear fuel tank, the one that goes behind the axle, or if you have one in front of the rear axle, or if you have two. Sometimes we have vans that come in and guys have custom tanks made and they have two fuel tanks with a selector valve. We have to know this. It will change the price. It will change your kit if you have two fuel tanks. If you have a fuel tank in the front, your line set needs to be a different length than if you have a fuel tank in the back. So we're going to have some options on the website. Those options on the website, you have to answer them, and you have to send us a picture of your VIN plate and then a picture of the side of your van so that we make sure that we send you out the right line set for your van. We're going to make this super easy to install our fuel system on your van. That's all for today.